All right, coaches, now we're going to get into shooting. As we know, shooting is very important because you have to put the ball in the basket. You can run any type of offense you want, and it can look good, and you can get people open shots, but if they can't make a basket, it's not going to look as good. And I would say at the youth level, you really want to try to get it where kids can almost maybe get to the point where they can make like 50% of their shots. As they get older and strong enough, then of course like a three-point line, if they can hit 33%, then it'd be like almost 50% from twos. But again, young kids trying to get their shooting percentages up is going to be key. And I'm going to tell you right now, you have to start with the basics, the foundation. You have to build it. You got to get their technique mechanically sound, and you got to start in close to move progressively back. I'm going to try to make it simple where they can remember stuff. And the traditional kind of an acronym you can use like BEEF. And BEEF, you know, stands for balance and eye and elbow and follow through. So I'll kind of talk to kids about that and help them to really understand what we're focusing on teaching it so they can remember it, right? So we're going to go through BEEF. The first thing, like I have right now, Carter out with me, and we're going to talk about if I had him as working with him and as a player, I'm going to say, hey, first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to work on our balance. And balance is such a key in shooting, right? From the foundation of your feet all the way up. And you got to have that foundation built. Now, if Carter had his feet, get real wide with your feet, right? If you were like jump roping, you would not jump rope like this, because this would make you a slow, methodical jumper. Jump like that. He'd be slow, methodical, right? As a shooter, you want to be a quick jumper, explosive, so you get your shot off quicker, harder to contest, harder to block, right? So we talk about having our feet. A lot of people talk about shoulder width apart. It's hard for kids to see their shoulder. I'll tell Carter right here, I want his feet to be at least hips apart. So he can see his hips and he can make sure his feet are hips apart. I might say go a little bit narrower at your feet, right, in position. Now, he is a right-handed shooter. So I'm a big believer, I like to have our feet staggered. So his right foot is going to be his lead foot. So his right foot would be a little bit in front. It might be an inch, two. It's going to be in front of his left foot. Now that's how I'd start with his feet to understand that. Now being staggered, one of the things that can really help him be an effective shooter with his footwork is the alignment we'll get into, and I'll explain how we might change his feet a little bit, turning it as we get into the alignment part of it. So with our feet and being balanced, the next thing we talk about is our eyes. What do you focus on? You got to focus on a target, right? If I was in the backboard, shooting off the backboard, it'd be off the top of the square in that rectangle, right? I'd be shooting off of. Now, in front of the rim, I tell individuals, I like to look at the center of the rim. I feel like anything what you focus on is what you get. So if you focus on the front of the rim, I feel like a lot of times you're going to hit the front of the rim and leather does not get through steel. And these kids understand is like you can fit two balls inside a rim. So I want to focus on the center. So I know if I hit the center, if I'm off a little bit, I still got a chance for the ball to come in. So some kids will be like the front of the rim, the back of the rim. I like to focus on the center, but be consistent in what you do and get those kids to understand you got to focus on a target. Focus on what you're shooting at and what you're doing. Now, the next thing we talk about is our elbow. So we talk about this will be more into alignment part. So as he comes up and shooting it, some kids will have their elbow out, right? They don't have the ball behind their elbow. So we want to make sure we get our elbow underneath our hand right here, our shooting hand with a basketball in place. So now we're going in straight lines to be able to go up and over, but we want to have this position right behind. Now, sometimes kids will have a hard time getting their elbow in. So what we tend to do is we'll tell him, being a right-hander, we'll turn a little bit to your left, maybe it's 15 to 30 degrees. He'll turn his feet a little bit to the left, so he might go shift a little bit this side. So now his lead shoulder gets out in front, and it's easy for him to get the elbow underneath the ball in what you do. Now, placing the ball in his hand, I would tell him he wants to have his hand slightly spread. You don't want your hands, you talk about the grip, you want to talk about the grip of the kids. Don't have it really in close, because now you sit there, have no control of it. You don't want to have it real wide, like your fingers stretched out, because now you get tense. If you're tensed in shooting, you're not going to be an effective shooter. So he wants to be slightly spread and relaxed. The ball is going to be positioned. We talk about here on our fingers, we call it our finger pads, on our fingers, not on our palm, not on our fingertips. You want to have it right here on your finger pad where you have daylight coming through and you talk to it. talk to kids about that. Slightly spread, and you're not gripping it with your thumb. It's just resting on your thumb. So you talk about them and how they would grip the basketball, right, and having it. The last thing we get into is follow through. And I'm going to tell you right now, follow through, being consistent, can really make a difference in somebody being an effective shooter. If you have, just to tell you, like if he came out and he didn't get his elbow above his eye and he went flat, a flat shooter, maybe a 35-degree arc, he might have, like they talk about, almost like 0.06 inches margin for error, not much. If he just raises it up and gets his elbow above his eye about 45 degrees, he has 3.6 inches margin for error. So he has 3 more inches margin for error. So getting arc on the basketball, I always say the ball has eyes. It's got to get above the rim so it sees it and it's coming down on the rim with that backspin so it deadens and goes in. You don't want to be flat coming out shooting the basketball. So we'll tell, like Carter, our idea is we want to go up and out, but I'll tell you young kids, we're going to go up, up and out, right? And have this elbow above my eye, and we're going to snap our wrist over. And a lot of times what you have is you have your pinky up. A lot of times, so you come here, snap it. Pinky is going to be up where it causes, if you don't have your pinky up, you go like this, you'll get a slight turn. If I have my pinky up, it'll make my hand where it doesn't turn sideways and get a side spin. The other thing that will happen is we're going to take our index finger right through the center of the rim, right through the center of the rim, and you're going to freeze your finish in what you do. Now, when we talk about this, our landing, we're going to go usually up and forward. So we talk about extend our legs, right? We're going to extend our legs. We're jumping through our toes and we're landing forward. We're not landing in the same spot. We're not landing sideways. And this is what I get back to balance. And balance part of it is we want our head to be centered. If his head's going to a side or going here and going back, you're going to be more off balance. So that's kind of a simple way of kind of breaking it down for young kids to understand beef, how it relates to shooting the mechanics, and get them to understand it so they're able to kind of coach themselves as they go along. So when they're working on shooting by themselves, you're making sure they're doing it the right way so they're getting more consistent habits and they become better through time. All right, coach, there's one drill I get into to starting out to teach the kind of form shooting part. We call this pendulum shooting. They have a basketball to the side of them. Now what I want them to do is I want them to focus on now, get your footwork. So I want them to get hips apart, slightly staggered, right? I want them to get their hips down and back, like they're going to shoot the basketball. They're going to take their shooting hand and place it right on your shooting knee, right? And they're going to take their hand starting out. We're going to go up, back, follow me, up and back, behind now, up and back, and I'm going to say set. They're going to get in a set point right here, right in front of their shooting eye, right? And they're going to go up, I'm going to say shot, and they're going to go up, up, and over. They're going to lock the wrist, right? Snap the wrist over. They're going to finish the index finger through the rim. So I'm going to go back, pendulum, back and forth, set, shot, right? Back again. Back and forth, set, shot. One more time, back and forth, set, shot. And they're going to freeze their finish in doing that. So that would be a first thing that we'll kind of work on, just getting them used to do it, their hand movement, getting a set point, and getting to where they're getting a good follow through. The next drill I'll kind of get into with them is we're going to have them now laying down on the floor. So they're going to lay down on the floor. They're going to have a basketball with them. And let's face this way, William. Face this way. So I'm going to take William's basketball. I'm going to lay down to start out. What I want them to do is we're going to work on, this is just work on really release. We're working on them locking their elbow, snapping the wrist, finishing good release. I want good backspin on the ball. Backspin, as you have that backspin hits the rim, it's going to deaden. It makes that soft touch they talk about in shooting. So we're going to start out, we're going to have it in our lead hand, strong hand. They're going to have their elbow, their forearm on the ground right to the side, wrist cocked back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up. I'm going to tell them we're going to extend. So we're extending up. We're going to lock our elbow, snap our wrist. So extend, I'll say extend, and we're going to lock, snap. So extend, lock, snap, and I want the ball to go up as it can in a straight line as much as possible. I want them to shoot it high, and I want to get them to snap that wrist over. Think about index finger through the rim. And we're going to do that with one hand starting out. So go ahead, and I'll go ahead on your own. I'll walk around, And I'll be kind of helping them. And if I was in practice, go ahead. Push, lock, snap. Good. Good. So have it. And you could also have it if they're younger kids, you might have them partner up, go ahead and shoot it, and I might get the basketball for them and bring it back to them, because some kids will kind of jerk their hand back because the ball won't go high enough, and it might be close to hitting them in the head, so you could do that as well. So I kind of go through, kind of help them out, really push, lock, snap, and shoot it up, try to get it going a straight line. So we'll stop there. Then what I'll do is I'll say, hey, we're going to put our offhand on the ball. We're going to put our offhand on the ball and doing this, okay? So now, still shooting with the same hand, but offhand. So as he goes here, William goes, what I'm going to do is he's going to do the same thing. Now, our offhand is on the ball, and our offhand, if you had it, offhand is here on the side, right? Balancing the ball, got 4 fingers facing the ceiling, and I'm forming a T with my thumbs. Right here is what you're doing. And as we go through, we push through our strong hand through our offhand. Make sure when kids are getting their offhand, they're not pulling their hand off where it gets them to torque their body, gets them to miss right and left. Great shooters are straight on. And also, too, make sure they're not wrapping their finger, pinky finger around in this position right here as well, getting in the front of the ball. So you're going to do that. They're going to now add their offhand. Add your offhand. Go ahead. Same thing. Go ahead. Push, lock, snap. Lock, snap. Straight up and finish. Good. Good. Get back in rotation. Stop there. All right, stop. Now, you could add stuff. Let me say it, William. You could add stuff to them to talk about, like, doing it at home. They could eventually, as you get older, they could take their arm off where it's off the floor, bring it back kind of closer to the shooting eye right here, and now they're taking it again. They're push, lock, snap, putting that offhand on it where they're working on shooting to themselves and doing that. So it's a good drill to work on the rotation on the basketball, working on a good finish. Finishing is such key in being a good shooter in basketball. All right, coaches, the drill we'll progress into is called line shooting. It's a good drill you can do. Kids kind of have fun. You can make it competitive as well. But you're working on, again, release. You're working on mechanics of their shot, being meticulous in what they do. So you have them spaced apart. You can have them a little further apart. We have them right now close to about probably 12 feet apart, 10 to 12 feet apart in doing this. So what we're going to do is the line shooting, the idea is I'm going to be positioned, get my footwork right. We're going to go with just one hand, bringing it up. I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to try to get it where I get that basketball to land right on the line. And where it almost like bounces, the soft bounce, it deadens with the backspin. It kind of comes right up into the player I'm shooting to. Every time I hit a line, I get a point. So you can make it competitive. Now, really what you're working on is straight line, this line shooting, is you want to try to shoot in a straight line. Great shooters do not miss right and left. So if you can be a dead-eye, direct, right-on shooter on line, it's going to make you a more effective shooter. So that's why you're doing this drill and making it competitive. Make sure they work on getting their elbow above their eye, soft arc on the basketball. They're not shooting a line drive, right? Okay, go ahead. Good, maybe extend, lock your elbow, snap your wrist. Try to get more arc on it. Try your arc. Shoot it up. Better right there. Good. There you go. So that's it. Good. Bam. Good. All right, now what I would do is, as I progress through this drill, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them, hey, add your offhand. So now what they're going to do is we're coming here. You can have it to where now I'm going to come up, bring it up. I'm going to have my off, balance hand, some people call it. Make sure it's on the side of the ball. 4 fingers pointing to the ceiling, forming a T with my thumbs. Now I'm going to do it here where my offhand's on it and try to get it going that straight line, right? Snap my wrist over, good arc. So now we're adding that element to it. You ready to go? Let's go. Now to start, all these kids, before they start, look at your feet. Make sure your feet's positioned right. Hips apart, right? Slightly stagger, maybe slightly turn to get that lead shoulder in front and where you're working on it. Now just do it like this. I tell a kid, bring it up here. Take it up like this, Logan. Bring it up like we did in one hand, and just now add your offhand balance hand to it and do it that way, all right? You're good. So we do a few of those. The next thing I would go into is I'd tell them, hey, if you wanted to, a kids, and you might not spend that much time with this, But if you want to spend a little more time with maybe kids, you might have them get it where they're catching the basketball, they're dribbling into a ball pickup, and we call it kind of a tuck position. They might be in a tuck set to go, like they're ready. Some people call it the shot pocket here. So now we're shooting it, and we're working on that. You can do that as well with kids. But I would just spend some time with them working on this, make it competitive, and have a winner and losers so they're really focused on being meticulous and trying to shoot in straight lines and good arc on the ball. So now when you bring them to a basket and they're working on shooting, they're going to be more effective. All right, coaches, now we're going to start doing shooting at a basket. What I'd really highly recommend you to do is make sure when you start shooting at a basket, I call it like backboard shooting. You'll see like Roy Williams, when he was coaching at KU back in the day, used to go watch practices. They used to do a lot of backboard shooting when kids come out. And the idea is that when kids are doing backboard shooting, you're not trying to make a you're like a lot of times you shoot at the rim, the ball's going in and out. Here, the ball's not like make or miss, and they can focus on their mechanics on shooting it the right way instead of trying to make sure it goes in. So it takes away kind of psychology of like, oh, the ball going in or not. You're just working on mechanics. And when we do backboard shooting, I'm going to tell Carter what he wants to do is he's trying to hit the same spot on the board every time, right? And he wants to get it high and soft. Hopefully when the ball is coming down, starts to hit the backboard on downward flight, but he's working on the mechanics of it. So I want him to get his feet positioned right. He ought to be hips apart, right? Slightly stagger, slightly turn, hips down and back, and he's going one hand, is a strong hand, and he's going to shoot backboard shooting. Shooting up. Remember, he's going to lock the elbow, snap his wrist. He's working on good backward rotation on the basketball and doing that. So then what I'll tell him, I want him to do the same thing, but he's going to now bring the ball up like he did, having the ball on top of his palm, bring it up. Now he's going to bring his bounce offhand onto it, and he's going to shoot it, okay? So same thing, be meticulous on his feet. We always talk about like hips down and back with your legs. We don't talk a lot about bending your knees. Get your hips down and back like a quarter squat. And he's working on taking his time, being meticulous. The mechanics are the same way every time in what you do. And then what I would do with Carter, I say, now we're going to work on like if you catch the basketball off, receive off a pass and catch it, or if it's off the dribble off a ball pickup. Now what he's going to do, we call it on a tuck set to go, we call it. Some people call it, hey, this is your, where you're sitting there. They'll call it like a shooting pocket. Some people will do that as well. But we're going to be in that position where I'm catching it or I dribble it and I pick it up and I'm ready to shoot the basketball is what he's going to do now. Same thing, getting his feet positioned properly, right? Go ahead, he's got alignment. And he's working on it again. Going up, and over, snapping his wrist over, good backward rotation, good arc on the ball, being consistent and repeatable. So that's what I would do with players at the beginning. I would do that. You could do this at a backboard. You could have kids shooting at a wall. You could have them lined up shooting at a wall. Again, they're trying to hit the same spot on the wall. You can do that to start out. All right, coaches, now we're going to start shooting at the basket, and I call this a lot of form shooting. I'll tell our kids, like a practice with kids I'm working with, you got 5 spots. And the 5 spots we're going to do is we're going to do the baseline. You're going to have the wing. We'll have the top, the key. You'll have left wing, and you'll have the baseline. Now, sometimes older kids, we might add 7 spots. We'd add like a 45-degree angle at the glass. We might add that. The young kids will just do 5. The idea what I do is even this is like, before practice, we have practice going. I want them to get as close to the rim as they can, underneath or head underneath the rim. They're going to take a big step back. So Carter, if I had him, I would tell him to be at the rim, and he's going to take a big step back. Right now, I'm going to tell him he's got to work on the same thing we did. Now we're at a basket. Footwork, right? He's got to get himself on balance, hips down and back. He's going to take the ball in his palm. He's going to bring it up, right? And he's going to go one-hand shooting, feather shooting. And he's going to work on, again, getting good extension, get his elbow above his eye, snapping his wrist over, index finger through the rim. Now what I would do is I might at practice tell him, you might have a younger kid, they struggle with shooting. Their percentage, you might say, hey, just shoot one from a spot. Carter's a little better than that. So what I'm going to tell him is, or a lot better than that, is he's going to sit there, he's got to make, I might say 2 at a spot. But I'm going to just, for film's sake, he's going to make 1 from a spot. So if you made 1 from that spot, he's going to move to the next spot to the wing. And he's going to do the same thing, replicate it, right? And now he's going to go up and over, and he's got to make one from the spot to be able to move to the next spot, right? So now he moved to the middle. He's in the middle right here, and he's going to do the same thing, right? Locking his elbow, lift it up a little bit, get good arc on it. Good, right there, index finger through the rim. So we would do that. You can go all the way around, but for film's sake, we're just going to show you this 3 spots and doing that. Now, if he did that all the way around, you're still on one hand form shooting, what we would do is we tell him, hey, take a big step back underneath the rim and take a half step back now. So you might go a half step back when we progress it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to add his offhand. So now he's going to do the same thing he just did. Get your footwork position right. Bring the ball up. Put your offhand on it. And now he's going to go up and he's going to shoot it. Right? So now we're doing the same thing we just did, but now we're adding offhand. He's making sure his footwork, he's on balance, good alignment, elbow above his eye, snapping it over. And he would do that. And again, he would go to the next spot. Say he made 2 from a spot. He would go to the next spot doing that, okay? So we'll show 1 from that new spot. Make sure your footwork's in position properly, good balance, good alignment. Good, so he'd do that. Now, what we'd do if you had time, or maybe they progress, maybe it's one practice you might do doing the feather shooting, maybe another practice you might be starting them adding the offhand. What I'm going to do with Carter now is he's going to take a big step back, take another step back, big step, and now he's going to work on where if he caught it off the pass, if he picked it up off the dribble, we're going to be in kind of our tuck position. Some people, their shot pocket, they call it. So your footwork's going to be the same. He's going to be positioned like he caught the basketball, picked it up off the dribble. He's going to shoot it. Go ahead. And he's going to now work on meticulous and making sure preparation of a shot, working on his form. And notice how he's extending his leg. He's jumping through his toes. He's landing a little bit forward. Right, freezing his finish. So we would do that. And then he could rotate to the next spot. And again, if you have young kids that are 3rd graders or kids that are young and struggle to shoot it, don't make it to where maybe like, hey, you got to make 2 in a row. Or you got to make 2 from a spot, and they struggle. They stay at the spot, and they can't even make 1. And now they get frustrated. Their confidence goes down. Maybe say, hey, shoot from one spot, move to the next spot, move to the next spot. Now, Carter, I would do him as the advance. Hey, you got to make 2 in a row. Go to the next spot, or you got to make so many. And now what you got to make sure with the young kids doing form shooting, remember, have them start close and then progress back. Now, if Carter got to a position, I would tell him if he's working at home or he's working on his own, and he started going like this, and he started like shot putting, he started like torquing his body, and he started getting bad mechanics, he's going to step in, and he's going to shoot it, and he's going to make sure he has good mechanics, and he's going to finish strong at that point. What you'll notice through time, kids will eventually extend a little bit back through time, but you can't have them go back to a distance that they're struggling because they're going to develop bad mechanics. And you get them developing bad mechanics at a young age, it's hard to change it when they get older, so make sure they're patient, progressively move back, find out that shot range, and through time, it'll extend. The thing I like to progress into is you work on form shooting, and they're stationary shooting it. Eventually, once they get kind of a feel for it and get in rhythm, you understand that you got to eventually do drills that are going to be more game-like. One thing for you to understand as a coach, kids are going to have to, like, off the catch, they're going to have to step in to catch and shoot. Maybe it's a type of a pivot, footwork to catch and shoot. So the thing I want you to understand is we talk about kids, we're going to work on this drill is preparing early. If you want to have a quick release, you got to prepare early. So we talk about preparing early. We have our hips down and back. We're showing our hands. The ball's coming. We have ball in the air, feet in the air. Ball in the air, feet in the air. I love to have it to where my feet are set. When the ball hits my hands, we call that tuck position, ready to go up into your shot. If kids don't prepare early, what happens is they'll catch it, then they'll step, and then they're in a hurry to get it off because now defender's up on them, and they're trying to get there quick, and they're rushing their shot. So preparing early. Now, I believe, I know there's coaches out there say, hey, you need to 1-2 stop, you need to hop. Coaches are different on that, all right? And I'm telling you, I think there's benefit to both in what you do. So I'll tell kids kind of do what they're comfortable with, but the one thing I'll work with them on is maybe they're 1-2 stepping. If they're 1-2 stepping, I'm left-handed. I might have them go right-left at the beginning. If it's a right-hander, left-right. you might have an individual, they hop, and we're hopping, maybe you're a hop coach, and they're hopping into it, stabbing their feet. So we'll show a little bit of both on this, but I think eventually kids, you're going to be a coach and maybe you want a certain type of footwork, which is fine. Stress the importance of the drill. Make sure they're preparing early. But then as kids maybe get older, you might teach them a little bit of footwork, a 1-2 step and a hop, because I think there's times they can use both in situations on the floor. Now, what we're going to do, this is called Klay Thompson shooting, okay? How this drill is going to be set up, you would have a passer, a rebounder, you're going to have a shooter. So Carter's going to be my shooter. He's going to go in the basket. We're going to progress this. He's going to take a big step back. Big step back. Go ahead, big step back, going back. Now, move right over here, Carter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Carter he's going to have a hips down and back. You're going to 1-2 step it. You're a right-hander, okay? So I want you to go, when you do this, you're going to go left, right. So show me a 1-2 step going left, right. Left, right, so you're going to go left, right in doing that, okay? So you're going to go here. I want you to go left, left, right, stepping in, catch, shoot, okay? So you're ready to go, hips down the back, showing his hands. Now how this drill is going to work is I'm going to throw it to him, ball in there, feet in there, go ahead and shoot it. He's going to shoot it, and if he misses 2 in a row before making 2 shots from a spot, he would have to stay in that spot, or if he was back here further and he missed 2 in a row shots before he made 2, he'd have to step into the next spot, okay? So have your hips down and back, and I'm going to tell you for Carter, for your sake, do whatever you feel most comfortable with, and you're fine. If you want to hop, you want to 1-2 step, you're fine. Hips down and back, show your hands. Ready? Go ahead. Catch. Shoot. Good. You notice Carter's more of a hop shooter. Step back. Okay? Now hips down and back, show your hands. So you made 2, right? Ball in there, feet in there. Good. Rebound for him. Coming back, show me hands, give me a target, ball in there, feet in there, stabbing your feet. Good. So you made 2, so he'd step back, right? Okay? You want to step back, hips down and back, show your hands. Now I tell Carter in this drill, I tell kids, I want you to call ball, call gym, call something, communicate to me. Let me know you want it. So you're adding a little communication to it, right? Hips down and back, showing your hands, calling for the ball, step back. Right there, call for the ball. Hips down and back. Ball in there, feet in there. Good, there you go. It's all right. Go right back to me. Preparing early. Stabbing your feet, good. Good, stop there. So what you'll do is you can progress them back as they go. What I like about this drill, again, you're not allowing them to go back unless they make 2 shots from a spot before they make 2 in a row. Because otherwise you'll get kids, they'll start advancing back, after missing shots or only making 1, they don't have like a high percentage of shooting from that area, and they're getting out of their shooting range. This can identify more of a shooting range for an individual. The other thing I'm telling you, this is great where you're working on people stepping in their shot. Again, if you 1-2 step, maybe it's a 1-2 step. If you're a hop, it's a hop. They're in position, ready to shoot the basketball. So now they're receiving it off a pass, which makes it game-like. So now they're replicating their form. They're going to be more effective, more consistent, and have more success. Now, coaches, what we'll progress into is I like to get into game shots. So we always talk about we want to shoot game shots at game spots from game speed, right? So they might not go at game speed at the beginning. If I had it, I might tell an individual, like we work on eventually pivoting, where they're going to throw it out and they're going to pivot. Maybe they got to take their time and pivot and gather themselves and shoot it, right? And they might go a little bit slower. But as they get a feel and they get in rhythm, I want them to go fast enough to make a mistake, so I want them to go game speed. Now what Carter's going to do in this drill, what we do is call it game shots. I might have kids going at the same time at different baskets during practice. You'd have 10 kids doing this, 8 kids, whatever. So what's going to take place is they would go ahead, they would start their first one. We want to do just a pass and catch. So they would throw it out, and they can throw an air pass. They can throw it out, step in, catch, shoot. They can do that. Or they can also throw it out, and they can do like a bounce pass, catch, shoot, right? They miss the shot. They got to go get it wherever it's at, and they got to put it back in. They got to put their misses back in. Then what I'm going to have Carter do is he's going to speed dribble out. He can go Duke, he can go right, left, whatever. I might tell them in practice, hey, you're going to dribble out in your weak hand. So maybe they work on their weak hand more. Speed dribble out, they're going to come to a quick stop, and they're going to pivot. So now we're working on dribbling, stopping, and pivoting. Now they're going to throw the ball out. He's going to step in. He's going to catch and shoot it, okay? So we're going to do game shots. Now he is going to do step-ins, throwing a pass to himself, and it could be an error or bounce pass. You ready to go? Let's go. Good ball in there, feet in there, good. He makes it. He's going to dribble out hard, come to a quick stop, turn, pivot, throw it out to himself. Good, stepping in. Gets the rebound, dribble out hard, quick stop. Now you can tell him he might go put it back in. Now go Duke speed dribble, Duke speed, change it, hands, good. Pivot, throw it out, stepping in. Now do a change direction move, change direction coming there. Change direction move coming out, quick stop, turn, pivot, throw it out, step in, ready, catch, ready, shoot it. So we'll do that. And that's a great drill again because you're working on many different elements right there, right? You're working on pass, you're working on catching a pass, you're working on dribbling, you're working on stopping, pivoting, shooting. Now what I'm going to have him do is he's going to throw it out to himself, but as he throws it out, he might take a dribble out, but he's going to throw it out. I want him to turn in the air when the ball's in the air. So he's going to turn, ball in the air, feet in the air. He's going to forward pivot. Right now we're going to pivot, catch, shoot. Pivot, catch, shoot is what we're going to do, okay? So he's going to throw it out to himself, throw it out, ball in the air, feet in the air, forward pivot, turn it in, catch, shoot. Gets it, dribble out, throw it out to himself, ball in the air, feet in the air, good. Forward pivot, he's going to get his rebound, dribble hard, attack, go finish at the basket, good. Throws it out to himself, pivot, good. Go ahead, do one more, game speed, game speed. Throw it out, good. Pivot into it, catch, shoot. So again, it's just a good drill that you can have a bunch of kids going at baskets, getting a ton of reps in. Everybody's got a basketball. And if you have 2 or 3 kids at a basket, hey, they got to work through traffic. They get eyes up and they got to see, which can be good too. So I love the drill because it works on many different elements, but it gets, we talked about, gets him game shots from game spots at game speed. Coaches, here's another drill we'll do in practice, which I really like because it gets a lot of shots up. It works on passing the basketball on target on time. It makes him sprint the floor, working on conditioning, sprint to go get the rebound. And I like that because you make it a competitive drill. I might have these kids at different baskets, and I might say, hey, and I might have 2 groups in one basket. And I can sit there and say, hey, first team who gets to 8, first team who gets to 10, whatever, is winners. Losers doing push-ups real quick. So you're putting stakes on it, right? And all of a sudden now they're going harder, right? So it's a competitive drill, conditioning, and you're getting shots up. What I do when I start the drill out, I'll put them from maybe, it might be 10 feet out, whatever, right? We'll start out from there. What's going to happen is we call this 3-person, 2-ball shooting. So you got 2 basketballs on the baseline starting out. You got a shooter ready to go without a basketball. So what he's going to have to do, Carter is going to throw a pass. I want air passes, not bounce passes. So it gets there quicker, and they should be thinking about that because they want to be successful in the game. Throw it on target on time. He better give his hands target. I want him to communicate, call for the ball in the air, feet in the air. Once he passes it, go ahead and pass it. He's sprinting out to another area. He's shooting it. The next person in line is going to throw it to the person that goes out after passing and becomes shooter. Go ahead and throw it. All right, stop there. So quickly for this drill, coaches understand in 3-person, 2-ball shooting, they're always, to make it simple for you, you can tell kids you're always going to throw it to the same person, right, to make it simple for them. But the idea of I'm a passer, I pass it, I become the shooter. Shooter gets the rebound, next person in line is throwing it to me, they sprint out. Okay, what we're doing. So they're going to show this. I want them to go game speed. I want them to communicate. They're going to be about 10 feet out, right, tipping to make shots. They're not rebounding, putting their misses in on this one. They're going to get the rebound, they're going to look to pass it. The next person that's available, you're going to pass it and get it going. You ready to go? Let's go. Throw it. Ball in there, feet in there. Talk. Sprint your area. Let's go. Get ready to catch, shoot it. Get ready. Come on, Carter. Come on, Carter. Get it to him, Logan. Let's go. Sprint out. Logan, let's go. Talk. Good. Ball in there, feet in there. Elbow above your eye. Elevate your shot. Don't be flat. All right, stop there. Now, So what I'll do is I'll do that. And then I'll say, hey, now maybe I'll tell them, hey, you're going like 15 feet out. I'm going to tell them now to go a little bit further out. So we'll extend a little bit. So go a little bit deeper, right there. Ball in there, feet in there. Stab your feet. You're ready to catch, ready to shoot. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Talk and communicate. Sprint into your areas. Preparing early. It's all right, it's all right. Get your rebound. Sprint out, sprint out. Get the Carter, get the Carter. Let's go, let's go. Next guy, Thomas. Next guy, let's go. Throw it on target on time. Make sure you're in line. Let's go, stop there. So you could do that. You could also, as kids get strong enough and older, you could do it from course threes, right? You could catch, they could do ball fake, one dribble, pull up. You can add elements and layer this, right? But at young kids, if they're don't have the range, I'm having them in closer doing this, so they're sprinting out. It's like sprinting out to an open area, ball, 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 preparing early, stabbing their feet. So again, it makes it more game-like, and then put competition on this. There's no better thing. When you put a competition, kids will go harder. They're going to sprint after basketball. They're going to try to throw that pass crisper, right? They're going to do things much more better. They're going to be much more urgency because they're trying to succeed in the drill.